Okay, morning, folks. Welcome briefing on the first of the month. So things a little bit better than yesterday. There were certainly some spectacular storms about yesterday, and it really disrupted our sort of flying program for the morning and the afternoon. But today, what we've got is the pressure just rising a little bit. It's gone from about 1,012 yesterday to 1,018. Just at the moment, so it's enough just to damp it down a little bit. And we've also gone into what looks like a little bit more of a westerly airflow with the upper winds a westerly direction rather than a southwesterly and southerly direction as it was yesterday. Lower winds seem to be about the same really as yesterday, so I don't think there's going to be much change in the setup that we've got. Isobars just a little bit closer than they were yesterday, so wind is already stronger than it was this time yesterday morning. Moving forward for another 12 hours, this has changed quite dramatically. Now we've got weak frontal systems, but before that should be okay. For most of Saturday, that's going to get here in the afternoon, late afternoon apparently, and die out according to the BBC. TAFs for today, Farnborough, so 239 knots, exactly the same as yesterday. They were forecasting, but the wind was just all over the place yesterday. Sometimes it even went easterly when the nearest big storm went past. We're less of that today. Few at 3,000 feet. I'm looking at sort of most of the forecasts showing 3,000 to 3,500 feet, and they're showing a tempo. Showers and rain. Lots of the other forecasts aren't showing anything at all. We might be unlucky if we catch a shower. Say tempo means you would be unlucky really. But Heathrow and Gatwick look very, very similar forecasts. So upper winds at flying heights, well, 240, 15 down in the channel and about the same middle of the country. But you can see the difference today is the winds, upper winds at 25,000 feet have gone westerly, both here, 280, 50 knots, and 280, 35 knots. So that's really where our weather's going to come from when we get sort of upper cloud coming in, or if there is a shower, it's going to drift in from the west rather than the south yesterday. Sat pic shows some early morning cloud. This stuff here just come over and it's 1,000 feet, but it will break up as the morning goes on fairly quickly. A little bit of shower activity down on the south here, but that's going to dissipate, and you can see that on the rainfall radar. It's just running through the channel. Not really a lot going on. I think it's an increase in pressure, so it's sort of drying out and stabilizing out a bit as the morning goes on, which is good news. Temperature wise, got to 19 degrees yesterday, a bit warmer than I thought it was going to be. I predicted, I think, 17. So there's no reason why it shouldn't go a little bit higher today. 20, 21 in here. Dew points, well, they're currently around 10s and 11s, very similar to yesterday. They'll probably go down to about 9. It was interesting watching the showers go through and how it changed the dew point temperature dramatically at times yesterday, but I think a little bit more constant today. Dew point's about 9, so a reasonable temperature dew point split. And the soundings, so this is the sort of 9-10 o'clock sounding this morning, showing it fairly unstable. First thing, pressure's still rising. It hasn't stabilized out. I think cloud base eventually 2,500 feet, but the potential for vertical development up to sort of 10, 12,000 feet is definitely there. But as the morning goes on, up till about 1 o'clock, things start to stabilize out and we get an inversion beginning to develop. And that suggests areas of spread out will develop and some dead areas in places over the day, but pretty unstable air all the way up through here. So 4,000 feet above sea level at best today. Tops up here about 7, but spread out in places, and it looks very similar for the afternoon, mid to late afternoon. And again, an inversion showing some spread out. The actual Larkhill first thing this morning just shows it being very, very unstable. Small low level inversion here, which won't take much to break. It's probably past that temperature already, and then quite unstable up through here with small little inversions. That one's sat at about 10,000 feet. Again, enough to cause spread out, and that is going to stabilize in that area as the day goes on. Top Meteo are certainly picking that up with their cloud predictions. That's 10 o'clock, 6/8 in here, and some signs of it sort of spreading a little bit. And you move it forward a couple of hours, and you've got the same again. That they call it Q congested and spread out in here. So yeah, I think a definite chance. North of us looking spread out, south of us looking a little bit better. And I would have thought we're going to see some form of sea breeze later on during the day. Yeah, proper sea breeze front. It's got that sort of ideal wind direction mix between lower winds slightly from the south and upper winds westerly. So I think a good chance of seeing a usable sea breeze front around us at some point during the day. But as I say, lots and lots of spread out in this area probably. And the same goes on for most of the afternoon, really. Sky sight, well, actually, we'll look at thermal heights. Sky sight suggesting the same sort of thing when they're showing the best area to be the south of us. So thermal heights by sort of midday, they're showing 1,100–1,200 meters. Around us, 13, 14 in the afternoon, and okay towards the Oxfordshire area and perhaps up north beyond that into Cambridgeshire. But again, large amounts of cloud showing. I think there'll be sea air coming up Bristol Channel, right direction for that. Potential sea breeze fronts down here to the West Country. Their suggested distance for an 18-meter glider, and a very similar picture to Sky sight. They're picking out, Sky sight's certainly picking out, running up and down the sea breeze front here, but okay up to the north and into Cambridgeshire. The wind just shows at sort of 15 knots probably at flying heights. So a very similar sort of picture that Sky sight has produced. The best area down to the south of us. If it wasn't for the Southampton, Bournemouth airspace and edges of Gatwick, it'd probably be great to run the sea air all the way down to the West Country and back towards Kent. So, yeah, reasonable day. I don't think we're going to get any. I hope we're not going to get any showers. And sort of some decent soaring during the day. Should be good for a couple of 100K in various directions. But quite a lot of cloud amounts and spread out in dead areas, I suspect, in certain places, but difficult to predict where. Okay, airspace wise, starts to get a bit complicated. We're running into July, lots of stuff going on. And I'll cover the main bits now. Lots of things like the ones here, 21, 22, 28 is all paragliding, hang gliding activity. Key ones for us down here on the Isle of Wight and Portsmouth, there are temporary danger areas. I've listed them here, number 14, 15 and 17. They're TDAs between 10:30 and 14:30, and they're only up to 750 feet above sea level. So very low level stuff. And I think this is where they're flying a drone from Portsmouth across the Isle of Wight as a trial to drop off medical equipment and medical supplies. There's that one there. Number 34 is parachuting at Tidworth. That's 10 o'clock to 10:30 this morning local time. So pretty much by the time you think about going soaring, that one will have gone. Going further up here, number 45, you think, oh my goodness, there's a large amount of airspace there. No, it's just notification that the squawk code for the RIAT airspace, which is going to be activated in a couple of weeks' time at Fairford, has changed, so it's nothing to worry about there. The key one for us is 47, 48, and 49. Well, 47, 48, I'll cover in a second. That's the Silverstone restricted airspace. And number 49, they've got parachuting at Silverstone, 11:15 to 12:15, up to 6,400 feet. And really, the other stuff is just incidental. So that's not of any activity. For example, that's old Warden, just notifying there's a change to their restricted airspace that they've got in a couple of weeks' time. So the Silverstone airspace runs today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Sunday, I think they've got the red arrows displaying there, so there's another bit of airspace plonked on top of that. But this is basically from 9 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. It's helicopter restricted airspace, so you can't go in it unless you've got agreement from Silverstone and you are a helicopter shuttling between Tur Western and Silverstone. And then they've got a temporary ATZ in there. As I say, it runs all day, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And along with that, they've got parachuting, as I said earlier. So yeah, that's really the stuff of note. That file you can obtain off AS Select as an airspace file for your moving map. Right, what else is going on today? Possible 737 departure at 1400 hours local. I was notified of it yesterday, but I've not actually seen a flight plan, so don't know if that one's going ahead. Operationally, I think initially we're going to set up on 2-3. It looks like it's in that direction. The wind's strong enough to justify going on 2-3. We'll have the electric winch in operation today, and we'll brief pilots if they're going to launch on the electric winch. Just anything they need to know. And hopefully folks will got a reasonable flying list. We'll get out there and get going fairly shortly. I'll see you out there.